sales pages. And by the end of this stream, I'll be selecting one person who I will buy something from. Even if I don't necessarily fit in that target demographic, I'm going to be basing this on a number of items that I'll be looking for when I review these sales pages, which I'll talk about in just a moment. So make sure you stick around. We're going to learn a lot today together. And although there's a lot of people submitting in their sales pages, I apologize. I won't be able to get to everybody, but we're going to get through as many as we can, because I think that the most important part is the moment where, after building a relationship, after attracting people to our websites, when we finally want them, our audience, our subscribers, our followers, that traffic, to take action with us, well, we need to do some convincing. They're not just going to do it automatically. So let's talk about that and more today on the Income Stream. Thanks so much for being here. All right, looks like the intro video is not playing, but I still got the music for y'all.
This is the Income Stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the Income Stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The Income Stream with Pat Flynn.
And hey, really quick, if you're in the room right now and you do happen to sell something or help a target audience of a particular kind, pop it in the chat right now. Be a lot of fun. Yesterday we reviewed a number of websites, which we're going to do every single Saturday. Every Sunday is going to be Sell Me Sunday, and this will be, last week we did something fun with the Shark Tank sort of situation. I wore like a suit to make it all like Mr. Wonderful. We're just going to do more casual today. I want to get through more stuff. We're going to get into this right away. Super Sales Sunday, says Sue. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for the super chat. That's super generous of you. And welcome in to everybody else who's in the room as well with me. We got Martin, we got Consult the Blind Guy says, uh-oh, tech difficulties. And you know what? It happens. I'm used to this. I remember in 2011 when I started speaking on stage, I spoke at an event in Los Angeles called Blog World Expo. In fact, this event was huge in Las Vegas, and they started to do a lot more of these. So I was in Los Angeles speaking, and I spent all this time learning about how to speak on stage. And in fact, this particular presentation, I memorized every single word. So much so that I didn't even have to look at the slides. I had choreographed when I clicked so well with what I said that I was just like, okay, I got this. And remember, I was going through the presentation, and the presentation was titled How to Be Everywhere. And I got to the punchline after about a 5-minute introduction, and I let people know how to be everywhere. And I went to the slide, said how to be everywhere behind me. I didn't need to look behind me, although everybody started laughing, and I wasn't quite sure exactly why everybody was laughing. But I kept going anyway, because I knew that in public speaking, however the audience reacts, you just gotta keep going, right? And so I did, and for 5 minutes, I was talking about the idea of how to be everywhere and the importance of that in your online journey. Not right at the start, but to be on all these different platforms so that people will always have a way to find you no matter how they like to consume content. That was really what it was about. Well, I turn around just to check the slides really quick to move on to the next one, and I realized that for 5 minutes, the slide behind me said H-O, then B every W, then below that like blog with an E, and just, it didn't look right. And what had happened was I had uploaded my keynote onto the system computer for the event, and it didn't take with it the special fonts. I didn't know that when you put specialized, customized fonts in your presentation, if it's not also in the system that you're presenting on, that it's going to pull Arial, which is the default font, and then it's gonna be a lot larger. So it was only showing a portion of the words, and for the entire presentation after that, all the words were messed up. And I wanted to close up my shell and just roll out of there. And I even asked, like, you know how when there's something happening, and you're like, is there a doctor in the house? I asked, are there any developers in the house who could help me? Because it's not supposed to look like this. And you could even hear it in my voice. Although I got through it, and a lot of people afterwards said that they thought maybe I did that on purpose because it showed that I knew about the topic so well. Anyway, that kind of stuff happens. And wow, we have some super chats coming in from a couple of amazing people right here. We have @Reef, which says, I know today is not YouTube review day, but I made a video that I'm very proud of, listening to all your advice. And I would love to know what you think when you have the time. Thank you. Cool, thank you so much for that. And I will let you know when I can do that. But we're gonna do some YouTube channel reviews probably sometime within the week. We haven't done that in a while, so make sure you stick around. April with the 1111, sending love, hope, and positive thoughts to all who are struggling in the midst of quarantine and divide in our country right now. Love, my Quaranteam fam. Yes, a lot of stuff happening right now. We're not going to go into that here today, but just well wishes and hoping everybody's safe, and there just needs to be change, just absolutely. Anyway, let's get into this today. We are going to talk about selling. And in fact, we're going to be reviewing some sales pages, and sales pages are really important because that's the mechanism by which you can help connect with somebody and help convince a person that what it is that you have to offer is worth spending money with. And it's a transactional offer, and it should always, number one, come from a place of generosity. It should come from a place of service first. However, you can sell and serve at the same time. Let me say that again. You can sell and serve at the same time. And that was a huge lesson for me when I started selling my own stuff in 2017. Up until then, it was mostly affiliate marketing. In fact, that was generating most of my income. 85% of my income at the time was coming from affiliate marketing. A lot of it coming from advertising and sponsorships, and just a small portion was coming from my own stuff, and most of it was on stuff that wasn't even on Smart Passive Income. It was stuff on my architecture exam website, which is where I first experienced selling my own stuff, but it felt more tangible there because I was selling information about a guide to help people pass an exam in the architecture space, and there was very clear ROI there for people. And so when it comes to selling, you got to realize that there needs to be some sort of exchange in value. Right? People are paying you money in exchange for something. And what is that thing? Well, hopefully we're going to find out when we go into these sales pages today. Some of the things I'm going to be looking for are how can you capture the attention of the person who you are serving almost immediately. You have about 10 seconds the moment a person visits any sort of web page, sales page or not, to help them determine whether or not they should stick around and keep reading forward. Number two, in relation to the product, I want to understand what's the problem that you're solving, what it is that you're helping me overcome. What is it that you are transitioning me to? What's the transformation? I need to know what this is. I want to know a little bit more about you and how I can connect with you, and what about you almost gives you the right or the authority to speak on this topic and sell something about it, right? That's very important as well. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be the world leading expert about something in order to sell something. In fact, this is something I thought had to be the case, and it was something that was holding me back in 2008 from selling my study book guide to architects, because I was selling information and questions about this exam that I barely passed. But I had been asked so much to create this that I was having conflicting thoughts because I kept essentially doubting whether or not people would in fact pay me for this. I was doubting whether or not I was qualified, and eventually I realized that you don't necessarily have to be the world's leading expert. You just have to be even just a few steps ahead of somebody else, and that's why people came to me. Even though the study guide company that came out with the questions for the exam. By the way, Corey, thank you so much for the super chat today. I appreciate you. I'm not worthy, but just did video 25, and we'll try to ramp up a little. Hey man, you're doing excellent. I'm just proud of you for taking action and keeping up all that hard work that you're doing. And again, thank you all for the super chats. It's the last day of the month here, and we are donating to Project Cure right now, which helps people who are in the medical field through a reputable organization that I did research on, Project Cure, and we are well over $1,000 this month in donations. And so very much appreciate that. Not necessary, no fee required, as the song says. However, I will happily accept and pass on those donos who are to people who are more deserving of it right now. So thank you so much for that. Cool. What else am I looking for on these sales pages? How are you asking me to take action with you? The moment at which you ask me to click and buy, is it just a button that just shows up, or is there a call to action? It's really important to have a clear call to action and even sort of foreshadow next steps. Click the button below to get access to Power Up Podcasting and begin your lessons toward building the podcast that can help you attract the people who you can serve in a business and spread your message further with. Something like that, right? Hashtag bruh. What's up, Mark? Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you. Let's see. At Reef says, there are 98 people, but not 98 likes. Hit like. Thank you so much. I'm not here to beg for likes today. I am here, and again, thank you for the support. I'm here to serve you. What else am I looking for here? I'm looking for how other people have been helped by you. Now, there's a big challenge here when it comes to sales pages, right? It's like, how do we, especially if it's something we're selling for the first time, how do we offer testimonials and proof that this thing works if we've never sold it before? This is why when it comes to selling things, I highly recommend having a beta group. A beta group is sort of an initial founding group or members who could come in to help you understand how you can better craft this thing. But in exchange for that, not only do you perhaps offer a discount or more access to you, but you get, hopefully if you get them results, testimonials. And it can just be one person that you help go through this process. That also unlocks confidence in your selling ability too. It's really hard to feel confident selling something that you haven't sold before or you haven't gotten results with before. So if you are just starting out, try to get one person, one result with what it is that you're teaching with. Even if you haven't fully finished creating that thing, like it's an online course, you could still take people through that process. For example, if it's a physical product, maybe you offer somebody a chance to use the prototype for a while and they would understand that it's not necessarily the final version, but it's something that is coming. And with their feedback, you can make it even better for people who are buying it in the future. So I'm looking for proof, social proof, testimonials, something that helps prove the concept and the fact that this is a real thing. Okay, so let's get into these sales pages. If you want to submit your sales page for review, and again, I won't be able to get to everybody, I apologize, but if you go to patflynn.com/review, you can pop in your information there, whatever you'd like to pop in. That also subscribe you to my email list, just so you know, and I can follow up with you about some of these things and stuff that's happening on the show. So I'm out today with somebody who left a sales page. Her name is Mai. And I'm going to go here right now, and we're just going to go through, right? And thank you for the super chat again, by the way, at Reef. That's really generous of you. Let me turn this off. Okay, so here we are, and this is actually, in fact, a ConvertKit lead page. So the purpose of this sales page, I found out when I scroll down here, is to essentially get people into her program, and it's almost like an application process versus click here to buy. So just know that that buy thing is not going to be there, but this is for the M Bakery Academy founding member. Now, if I scroll up here, you'll see the length of this sales page. I often get a lot of questions as far as, well, wow, are sales pages actually things that work? Long form sales pages, right? Solomon Harvey, thank you so much for the super chat there. I appreciate you. And this is actually a really great question. Solomon is asking, what's one selling mistake that you've made, Pat? Assuming that something that worked for somebody else works for me. And I remember when I first started, and this relates to mine, her long form sales page here. I remember when I first started, I essentially took a Mad Lib style sales page from the back of a book called Moonlighting on the Internet by a person named Yannick Silver. Anybody ever hear that name before? Yannick Silver. And I essentially just inserted my information into there, right? Where the benefits go, the name of the product, etc. And I used that, and it was very short, right? Relatively speaking to compared to these other long form sales pages. Well, and I was like, okay, well, that's a good start. At least it got me going. And I hired somebody, and I paid him $500 to create a sales page, and it was a long form sales page. It was promised that it was supposed to be better, and I was like, okay, cool, this person's worked with reputable people before, and so I just assumed that that was what was going to work. And we did some split tests, and by far, my original sales page outperformed that person's long form sales page. And it was essentially because of how people came into finding out about my product. They already knew that this test existed and what the pains were and the problems were. And these people in this particular space, they just wanted the answer. They just wanted the solution. And so this shorter form sales page that I got from the back of this book worked really, really well. And so you don't want to assume that everything works the way that other people say it works. However, there are some things that you need to do to make sure what works for you, and that is to test. And so just the assumptions of, oh, well, everybody says long form sales pages are dead. It doesn't mean that they're not going to work for you. Or everybody's saying, oh, long form sales pages work extremely well. Well, that might not be the case for you either. Try and test different things, and that can work out for you too. Okay, so let's go in here and help Mai. So at the top of this page here, it says, want to learn how to bake cakes like a pro with ease and say, yes, I made that? I love that because there's some emotion there, right? You're putting people in a position to think about the future. And I like that, right? That's a very common strategy. I like that, Mai. Even if you have failed many times and want to give up, don't. Because you are an awesome baker, and I'm here to help you, and I'm here to help and show you. Fill in your details below to be a founding member of M Bakery Academy. Okay, so pro, what you said here. Love it. This copy is actually really, really good. It speaks to essentially who your target audience is. You're getting into their minds, somebody who's failed a few times, and you want to help them come out of that. And then you give them a call to action. Really, really good stuff. But You tell people to fill in the details below, and guess where the details below are? I have to scroll all the way down here, mine, to get to it. And that's not, like, if it's driven just by initially what you said, and that's the call to action, you need to have like what you're telling people to do right where you're telling people to do, right? So just keep that in mind. I would either have something down here, maybe it's a horizontal bar that says, you know, enter your information here, or keep reading below to learn even more about this program, right? So that way it connects and it can keep people going further. This is not as big as it should be. This is a headline, and it seems to be almost an afterthought. In fact, it almost reminded me of, have you ever been to those websites now that say like, hey, we have cookies here. Let me know that you're okay and allow these cookies to exist. That's what it looked like, so I almost skipped it. I almost wanted to look for an okay button to skip through that. What you said there is in fact more powerful than what was your first memory of cake, right? This is more of a storytelling part, which is where my eye goes. My eye doesn't go up here. So we absolutely have to, and by the way, for those of you in the chat right now, if you agree on certain things, feel free to agree. If you disagree, feel free to disagree as well. We're here to have an open conversation about these things. I think we all need to have more open conversations about things today for sure. And that way we can all learn together. Like this image here, is this you? Maybe inserting a hello, my name is Mai. What was your first memory of cake? Here's mine, right? Love this image. I think we all have an image that looks grainy like this with our cake from our first birthday, right? Mine is just, my hand is smashed with chocolate and I have like chocolate over my face. So you're telling a story here, which is good. How can I fix this? So I like the story. I'm thankful that you put it after some copy of who this is for. However, we need to hopefully get to a point where we talk about the pains and problems and objections and what this is. MBA, I love that. M Bakery Academy to help passionate bakers like you understand why things go wrong, how you can avoid them, and hone in on your skills to master the techniques so that your cake is the one that people aspire to make. Imagine that. People use your cake photo and how to make it. So whether you're a complete beginner or a bit more advanced, I'll be there to help you and teach you where you want to be. Okay, cool. The Academy logo, I really like that. It looks like a watercolor. I'm sort of 50% drawn in here. I'm drawn in because of the story, but I'm still not quite sure what's in this for me right now. And you painted a little bit of a picture. In fact, you painted a better picture up top here, right? Even if you fail many times, I'm here to show you versus down here. I think we could get into, where's that copy again? This is the part here. Imagine baking a cake that ends up on other people's Instagram accounts, right? How can we make this even more tangible, right? People use your cake photo and ask how to make it. That, I don't know if, I can't really resonate with that. I don't know necessarily if that's what a person is imagining. But when I'm imagining a person coming to your house and taking a photo of the cake and then their friends and followers talking about how beautiful that cake looks. So let's talk about it in terms of what is happening today and how people are sharing these photos, right? Whether you're a complete beginner or a bit more advanced, I'll be there to teach you. Okay, let's keep going down. So what can I expect from M Bake Academy? So it's interesting how you go from the story and whether you're complete. Okay, here, wait. Oh, no. Here, this is what I was looking for. The M Bake Academy to help passionate bakers like you understand why things go wrong, how you can avoid them, and hone in your skills. Okay, that's not bad. What can you expect? So here is what this thing is. This is what I was looking for. What is M Bake Academy? How does it work? Let's see this. Provide you with the resources such as templates, clear and easy to follow instructions, recipes, and much more. With these tools, you'll get to save time and stress so that you can spend more time with your family and enjoy the celebration. Even have the time to take those important photos of your cake for Instagram. Hey, there's a little bit of what's going on today and what I can look forward to, right? That's what people are here for. Now, I'm curious because immediately I'm like, okay, well, how is this any different than what's out there? And this is another thing that we need to do. Very important on a sales page. Hey, if you're not the first person to create this thing, if you're not, Elon Musk creating long-range electric vehicles, which essentially sell themselves, we need to have a juxtaposition. And even then, those things are obvious. He makes sure there's a juxtaposition between what's out there versus what he does. And I think we need to do the same thing here. So how does MBake Academy differ? How is this different than what is out there? And I'm going to hopefully find something here. This membership is designed to get you from A to B. Okay. I think that I really love this Instagram sort of motif here. in terms of like what you said here, like imagine, so take all these important photos of your cake for Instagram. Like, let's put photos of cake for Instagram there. Let's add even a little bit more color there in that story, right? And again, I'm looking for these differences. This is a little hard to read, and it almost seems like it just, I don't know why, it just stands out differently. I like the idea of the image of the cake there, but then this text seems a little bit grainy. I can barely see the price point. That's something that is interesting. And I missed this sign up form when I went through this the first time, right? So sign me up. This goes to here, name, I don't know, this should say email. So again, I don't say, here's a better headline. Want to learn how to bake cakes like a pro with the ease and say, yes, I made that. So it's interesting that that's not here. The sign me up, that's the only place that I saw that just now. Love how you have yourself there, pronounce my, great. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, I missed those. Those need to stand out a little bit more. And also, I would have it more decorated with an image. And perhaps you're limited with the ConvertKit landing page creator, which isn't really built for creating landing pages like this. It's built for collecting email addresses. And then finally, I'm looking for some proof here. And then we're going to move on to the next person because, okay, so structured around you. Is there also a guarantee? What if I don't like this? What if so here's some price points. Yeah, a lot of this important information, and this is why you see sales pages, really good sales pages have different sections that are different colors horizontally to make it a little bit easier for a person to scroll down, right? Like these different sections need to have headlines that describe each of these different parts, right? And again, they don't stand out very much because of the color here. Each month you will get about what you could look forward to each month. This membership is not for you if, for example, it might say, that's actually a good section. This membership is for you if, okay. Here we go. How does MBA differ from other memberships? Great. See, I almost missed these. I think the headlines need to stand out a lot more. The font needs to be a lot bigger. Just in your face, hey, this is how it's different. In your face, hey, this is for you if. And I think that's really important. And I see some testimonials here as well, which is good. Hopefully, let's see, after a class with Mai, I feel more confidence, especially when it comes to certain skills. This is a great one. So is this all coming from this person, Alicia? It's a little bit confusing because they're broken up into these different sections. Oh yeah, this is one giant testimonial. Cool, I think that if we could wrap the text around the image, it might make more sense and of a connection, especially as I scroll down and I lose that. How do I sign up? Okay. So I would grade this about a 70% right now. We are very close to there, but I think you're very limited by using ConvertKit right now as a sales page. But I think that you're saying all the right things. You have all the right components. I don't know if you found elsewhere how to do this, or perhaps you have experience with copywriting, but the copy looks really good. It's just the structure of the page and how it looks is not helping you right now. We need to have bolder text on the headlines. We need to draw more attention to these very important sections here, and absolutely have, especially around the call to action, very clear, what's the price, click here, this is the button to click, and to go from there, right? And finally, what's the scarcity? What's the reason why? Where am I driven to make a decision right now? Cool. Margaret here is saying, I have no proof on my page. And again, if you don't have testimonials about this specific product yet, that's okay. There's all different kinds of proof that you can include on there. Proof can sometimes be in what it is that you're teaching, right? Perhaps that you're teaching something related to productivity, and you can show case studies and examples of people who have used similar systems that have found improvement, and your system's even better than those, for example, and you can show exactly how and why. You may also be able to include social proof related to people who have worked with you in the past, not necessarily about this particular product, but just in general, people sharing testimonials about you and how you've been helpful to them. Those two things can work really, really well. So Karma's asking, this is, I don't want this to be a sort of a chopping block where we're all, but on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being fantastic sales page and 1 being just terrible, what would you rate this sales page? I would say and agree with Jamin about 6 or 7. So we're close. And I think that's okay, right? First of all, my great job, great start. Now we can make incremental improvements, and hopefully these improvements have helped you there too. The App Lifestyle is asking, hey Pat, do you feel video sales pages are more effective than written ones? I think there needs to be a combination of both. And all my best performing sales pages personally, and again, you have to test on yourself too, but having a video there for people who want to get to know you, and obviously that's going to help you build a relationship with that person or those people, have them KTL you, know, like, and trust you a lot faster, especially if it's cold traffic. However, you need the written content on there too, because not everybody can watch that video. And if you can scroll down, have it be easy on the eye, have these bigger headlines that divide these different sections and call people's attention to, that can work out really, really well. Carly says, how do I submit my webpage? I'm new here. So if you have a sales page, you want to bring people to patflynn.com/review. That's where you can actually upload that. Awesome. Okay, let's find somebody else. Let's keep it going here. All right. I'm just going to pop these up, and this collection system, Karma, thank you for the inspiration about that. I have it tied to my email list now, which is really great. Okay, somebody inserted this, and this was, who was this? This was Carolyn. All right, Carolyn, I got you. Okay, so Carolyn, just right off the bat, I'm here on the sales page that you linked to, and I believe you linked to this as a sales page. Just let me go here and just, yeah, tremento.com/ship. And this is where I'm at. And I don't necessarily know if I've fully loaded this page here. It almost looks like it's still trying to load, but I saw this pop-up show up just immediately. On a sales page, the number one goal is to do nothing but the thing you want the person to do when they're on that sales page. And that sales page can be for collecting an email, in which case, yeah, I see you're doing that here. But if you're trying to get people to buy something, you do not want any other distractions, any other links, nothing but, and this is best practice, right? Which is why I think my sales pages were really great, because there was nothing else to do there but either, sign up to be a member or leave. And that's essentially what we want to have and to see. So I see this pop-up form, I'm already leaving, right? If I'm here and you're telling me to buy something and I come to this page, I'm out. But I'm just gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's just site-wide. You didn't know it popped up on this page. I'm gonna click out of that, and I'm gonna scroll down here. Now, mind you, this is what I'm seeing above the fold, and I'm seeing a lot of different things I can do. Again, speaking to what I just mentioned. So I don't like that I have so many options up front. I wanna be drawn into exactly what this is for, what I should do. So I even see, I don't know if these are the tabs here, if it should be like this perhaps. I don't know why there's so much empty space up here, but you're losing out on many opportunities here to make a direct connection with people. And then I don't know what just happened there. Oh, okay, membership. This is again where you want me to go. This is an interestingly designed web page. Okay, so that's what it was. Tremento I was looking for. But again, what is Tremento? How am I going to be benefiting from this? So if I were to recommend a sales page, I would have it scroll to right here. This would be a lot better than what I saw up here. Although I do see the 30 days, 15 hours, 29 minutes, 24 seconds. This is a great strategy to have some sort of countdown timer that essentially says, hey, this is how much time you have to act. Now, 30 days is quite a while. I always, in every single promotion that we do, if there is an end date where a bonus is going away or a price is going up or it's just going to be closed, I have a countdown timer. Those work really, really well. I use a tool called Deadline Funnel to do that. In fact, you can use that in a more advanced way to, in fact, have a countdown timer specific to each person who subscribes after they subscribe, which is really, and there we go, another pop-up for some reason. I don't know why that, oh, probably because I came on the page again. Anyway, I'm going to go through this sales page as if it started here, because this is something that's probably, this is a lot easier to go through, right? So I don't know, again, what this countdown is for, but I think it's when registration opens. But if that's the case, then what's forcing me to make a decision now, right? That's, again, another thing that we need to focus on. What's the draw to take action now? Now, let's just start here. Marketing and social media for restaurants, B&Bs, and hotels made easy. Great, I like that. Marketing and social media for restaurants, B&Bs, so bed and breakfasts, and hotels made easy. But marketing and social media, what about it? Is it just a general, sort of university style program about that? Is it for the purpose of growing and getting more customers, I'd love to see some benefit in the headline there. That's going to draw me in a little bit more, because this almost might seem like a more of a just, a download of information versus getting results, right? We want to help sell the results. The marketing and social media is the what, but what's the why, right? This is for small hospitality businesses who struggle with coming up with new content for your social media, getting more likes, followers, and engagement, using tools like Canva.com, Hootsuite, and so on, paid advertising and promotions, turning lookers into bookers. Okay. Marketing social media for B&Bs and hotels so that you can turn more lookers into bookers. That speaks a little bit more to me. Although lookers into bookers, this is cute, right? It's like cute marketing. It kind of makes sense. However, when it comes to selling, we have to be a little bit more clear, and oftentimes the cuteness and cleverness like that can work against you, right? Because lookers into bookers, when it comes to restaurants, are we looking for people to book things? Because restaurants are looking for customers, right? To have their seats filled. Perhaps it might say, marketing and social media made easy for restaurants, B&Bs, and hotels so you can have more customers in your establishment, right? Something a little bit more into exactly what this person is hopefully getting into. I like how you have some specifics here in terms of, okay, here's what you're gonna get, but perhaps this is a little bit too soon. Because let's say, for example, that I see this and I already use Canva, or I'm not a fan of Hootsuite. Maybe I've tried that before, or I've never even heard of that, and I realize, well, they're talking about Hootsuite here. I don't think this is for me. So you gotta be careful when you list certain things, because if you list things that people aren't involved in or don't have, or don't even know about, it almost essentially can immediately disqualify them, and we don't want to do that, right? Scooby, you're funny. You can master social media, and you don't need to hire someone to do it for you. Ooh, that's a big draw. I really like that, Carolyn. So marketing and social media made easy for restaurants, B&Bs, and hotels so you can get more customers, parentheses, without having to hire people to do it for you, and to reduce the overwhelm, without going crazy or hiring people. I'm just kind of brainstorming this, but these are the words that I would imagine your target customers would really resonate with, right? That's a big draw. I like that a lot. You could master social media, and you don't need to hire someone. That's the strongest part so far. All you really need are templates, a workflow, and coaching, and that's exactly what we offer you. Every month, you'll get a complete package with a monthly content calendar, prompts, templates, tips, support, and feedback. Yeah, I have an idea for a complete package with a monthly content. How might you name that package, right? Every month, you'll receive a Tremento package, a Tremento media package, which includes a monthly calendar, prompts, templates, tips, and support, and feedback to help you grow your business, right? We want to always tie in the benefit here, right? And that's what's missing from this section, right? With our support, social media will become easy. Let's get a little bit more defined with what easy means. Now, I see links down here. Okay, it goes into, wow, okay. Now we're talking. What is the Tremento Tribe? One membership that provides hospitality brands with everything to make communication and social media easy, even all on your own. PS available in Dutch. Cool. So perhaps you have a Dutch-specific audience for who. I love that. Okay, now we're talking. This is great. See, this is the kind of sectioning off that I was talking about that's really important in sales pages to help drive me through. Okay, it's like, okay, why would I join? And if I'm already thrilled about this, then I'm going to skip that, right? And then I know exactly where to go. The costs. I would consider this the investment, not the cost. The cost is like, hey, here's how much you're going to have to spend, versus the investment, which is like, here's how much this might be upfront for an ROI in the future. Founding member registration will be open from, this looks like July 1st, right? Yeah, this is interesting. I would say the date, month first, just spell it out, right? Because perhaps you might have people in the US who are going to be confused by this. I was seeing this as January 7th, 2020, and then October 7, 2020, which I know it's a 10-day open period starting in July 1st. This is really neat. Founding membership price. I like how you have the price slashed there. So this is, I'm already seeing that there's a benefit to signing up now, right? Registration opens, and perhaps the countdown countdown timer could be down here instead of up top, so that at the moment at which I have to make a decision, I'm going, okay, what's the reason to buy now? Well, the price is going to go up later. I'm going to lose out on these opportunities, and I think that'll go very well. So I could see popular. You get 2 months for free by going annual. That's great. What I'm looking for and I'm missing is some testimonials, some proof. Great selling of what it is that you're offering here. I did not like the initial, I was a little bit worried, but starting here with a little bit of those tweaks, I think it's actually performing very, very well. But I'm looking for some proof. You're not the only people talking about social media, right? This is unique a little bit more unique because it's niched down. And I like that. That's connecting me to you a little bit more. But what's the thing that's going to get me over the fence? It's not necessarily the templates. It's not necessarily the workflows. Those things make my life easier, right? Essentially, you're selling time. And I have very little convincing on the idea that you're selling time, right? That's why we get Uber, because Uber is selling us time. It's not selling us a car service. It's actually selling us time. We're buying our time back. This is why people pay a little bit more on Amazon, because, hey, I can just go get that product and it's delivered right to my door. Sure, I'll pay a little bit more. You're not selling these products. You're saving me time, right? Watch the video. Let's click on the video. I don't know if it's not popping up for some reason. Okay. Well, hey, let me try something. It might be my... Let me just hold on something. I'm going to play some music really quick and see if I can alter the connection. 1 sec. Okay, let's see if that perhaps does anything at some point, but anyway. Okay, cool. So hopefully that helps. I like this question from Elton that just came in, and he asks, let's see, where was Elton's question? What kind of value does a founding member should include? This is an interesting concept compared to normal student price. Yes, I've done founding memberships before. In fact, we're launching something in July that will have a founding membership price. So there's a lot of great advantages to launching with a founding members group, right? And I've talked about this a little bit earlier in terms of having members in there early who don't expect it to be fully fleshed out yet, but they're also going to offer you feedback in exchange for perhaps getting in early. In fact, that's actually a draw. Draw is the early bird sort of idea of it, much like how any product, especially those who have audiences already, there are going to be a certain percentage of people who just want to be first, right? And so this plays to that. So that's number one. Number two, the idea that they can have a little bit further access to you in exchange for that feedback. I actually want to be more involved in their sort of journey through that product, because then I can understand more about where the holes might be, and I can offer more additional resources for them, which then I can plug in those holes for those who come in later. In addition to that, there perhaps is a discounted price. You don't have to have a discounted price for founding members, although that is a big draw, and it does make sense. In addition to that, it is just a limited number of people, right? So they can get a little bit more personalized attention and have a tighter group in this enrollment period versus, if you open it up just for everybody, everybody's going through it at the same time with you, so they can be there to support each other. And you can also include some other bonuses or even perhaps some additional webinars or things like that. I like the idea of a founding group because people can feel like they're a part of something. And when people feel like they're a part of something, they will invest more into that thing. Question from Jamin says, is there a way prices reflect the location of the buyer? There are indeed ways to do that. It depends on the system that you have, but there's geo-tracking capability. I don't necessarily know the tools off the top of my head. However, depending on people's checkout processes, you can actually have it change depending on the location, depending on what tool you use, just automatically. Just on the sales page, you'd have to potentially include the different kinds of prices if that doesn't necessarily reflect dynamically on the sales page itself. Okay, so let's see. Another question from Craft Room Time. When using a funnel, would you suggest sticking with your brand colors for fonts or use a more black and white, and maybe the background colors for branding? So I would just say, how can you keep people understanding that it is still you talking to them all the way through? And that would include like your branding colors, your themes, your images, even if it's not necessarily the same WordPress theme or website theme or structure or layout, you can have it still feel the same. And I think the most important thing is the content and how you speak to people. You don't want to have a awesome relationship through your podcast and your blog and your videos, and then all of a sudden they come on the sales page and it's like, you're very conversational elsewhere, but then they come on the sales page and you're like, we here at Power Up Podcasting believe podcasting is the #1 platform for content creators like you. We believe that content is the most powerful form of connection, and because of connection, we believe this is an amazing program for you. Versus, hey, it's Pat here, been podcasting for 10 years, and I'm here to sell you something that will help you pay you back way more. And this is an online course. That's not what I say, but I talk in my own language. The way that I speak is the way that I show up on a sales page, if that makes sense. It's a great conversation here. Bald Guy Studio and Bernard talking about the idea that, we need to have a list of links near the top to get to these various major sections. That can definitely work. Anything at least have something up top that makes it easy for people who already know this program, who just want to get it, to not have to go all the way to the bottom. You should have multiple call to actions on a specific sales page here. But again, going back to this one that we found from Carolyn, I really loved a lot of what we have here. These sections work really well. However, I think that there needs to be a lot of work done on the landing portion of this. And if this could be taken off of perhaps the main website, where there's a lot of this other stuff up here that essentially is drawing my attention away. And in fact, if you divide this fold up top, like more space is dedicated to that versus the sales page itself, then I think it could work out for you for sure. Having the countdown timer here. And again, I'm missing a little bit of proof here too. Now this is proof, right? Trusted by clients and although I might not know what these brands are, this speaks highly of, the fact that you've worked with companies before. Can you get testimonials from these companies and have them pop up? There's been some questions here about testimonials as well. Does a video testimonial work better than text? I think both need to be included. Again, some people aren't just going to click on a video. However, some people who really want to do the research, which is a lot of people, are going to watch every single thing and read every single word. Other people, they're just going to want to scroll through. So having a combination of both is really key. And then also within those testimonials, if you have the capability to ask questions that get a person to talk about how they've grown or the transformation that they've received, and perhaps even talking a little bit about where they were before, the before after picture, right? Like in fitness and health and diet things, right? Like here I was before, here I was after. It's just the clearest way to show it. And we need to have something similar in our own sales pages. And that's where the before after juxtaposition with your testimonials play a major role, right? For example, Dr. B on my sales page says, I'm over 60. I was scared of technology, but Pat in his course was able to help me do it. So this is the before. I was old, didn't think I could do this, scared of technology, but hey, I did it too. And guess what? Other people have those same objections too. If your testimonials can highlight the same objections that your target audience has, then it can go a very long way. Elton says, would it make sense if there's any exit pop-out form to incentivize visitor to leave their details to take some form of action or leave their details for educational email? There's nothing to lose there, right? I think if a person's leaving a sales page specifically already, and you could offer them something as like, hey, before you go, like, okay, maybe this isn't for you, but how would you like this for free instead? I think that has worked really well. However, you got to be careful about the language you use and what you share and how you're sort of following up with people after. It could seem a little bit desperate. It could seem like a little bit trickery depending on what niche you're in. And so you got to be careful, but I think that it definitely can work for sure. Bernard says, one of the first things that I always look for on a website or sales page is prices. This is once I know if I'm interested in the product or service. Yes, so a section again, when you scroll down, very clear, what's the investment? We'll go from there. Okay, let's review another one. All right, we had a whole bunch come in, which is really great. And again, I'm sorry I can't get to everybody, but hopefully this is helpful for you to see as we go along. And who is this from? This is from Adina. Adina, Anger Management School, right? I help individuals go from feeling powerless to control anger to emotional equilibrium. All right. So this is Teachable, which I know is a little bit limited in how the page is structured. However, it does follow the format that I like. We use Teachable ourselves in terms of the name, tagline, enroll now, and then scroll down, boom, learn more. And you have a lot of great stuff here. So let's cover this. Anger Management School. I'm okay with the name. I think needs work because, and this reminds me of a story. I remember I was at a mall recently, or not recently, it was probably last year. And they had a bulletin board, where people have their own businesses and flyers and you can sort of rip out the pieces of things. And I remember coming across a bulletin board flyer that said, I love dogs. I want to walk yours. And I'm like, this is selling the fact that he loves dogs so much that he would be willing to walk yours, but it has nothing to do with selling the idea of walking a person's dog. It's all about this. It's all about him. So, Adina, this is very similar. I help individuals go from feeling powerless to control anger to emotional equilibrium. So, number one, you're talking about you and what you do. So there's already sort of a level of disconnect there. There's a second level of disconnect here where you talk about individuals. I help individuals, maybe not necessarily you. This is like a second level of not connecting, right? So I like the topic, don't like the tagline. I help individuals go from feeling powerless to control anger to emotional equilibrium. And again, the words are so important here that this is all I'm seeing, right? And you can, with this real estate in just these two sections, sell your item. But it's not selling it to me right now. And so, feeling powerless to control anger to emotional equilibrium. Does your target audience, do they say, I really wish I had emotional equilibrium? Is that a part of their vocab? Is that a part of their dictionary with regards to the pain that they have or the thing that they're trying to solve? So I would much rather have it be something like, for example, go from feeling powerless and angry to feeling control and emotional peace. Emotional peace may not even be in the vocabulary, but I don't know if people, that to me I've heard more than emotional equilibrium. Right? I know that's what you're teaching, and that's a word that completely makes sense. But if you can define the problem better than your target customer, but in their language, they're going to automatically assume you have the solution, right? So I like the go from this to this. I like that, but we can remove the I help individuals. I think it could even be more powerful by saying Anger Management School. You will transform from anger and feeling powerless to having control and emotional peace. And then might there be any sort of objection there that you can tie into this as well? Because you have a little bit more room to work with. Even if you've tried other programs before or within a certain time period, in a weekend or within 5 days or in a 90-minute course, right? There could be some additional things that can be here that can make me go, wow, okay, well, this is drawing me in even more. Sometimes putting some time boundaries within what it is that you're selling can work really well too. And the only thing I worry about in relation to the word school sounds very serious. Schools, and this is a serious thing, obviously, but school sounds very, okay, this is like going to be a semester's long of stuff. So if you could juxtaposition that with having control, feeling control. And again, I would have conversations with your target audience to understand how they talk about this. Again, I know we're focusing a lot of time and effort into this, but this is so important. We need to nail those words. Every single individual word needs to be nailed, right? Okay. Let's keep going. See in 2 minutes how this course could transform your life. See, you're selling this more than you're selling your own program. I like that a lot. Let's play this a little bit. By the way, you could also change the thumbnails here. Not saying this is a terrible thumbnail, but you can, I think this is hosted on Teachable, right? You can include a different thumbnail that might say, or have a picture of you pointing to the button that says click here for less stress, right? Or something like that, versus just kind of an office space. So that would be an easy way to just make it a little bit even more inviting to click on. But let's play this just to kind of see how you hook me in. When you play a video, you gotta hook people in right from the start, even more importantly than on a YouTube video, because any moment of just, well, I'm not sure, a person's out, right? And you know, hopefully we can get that. All right, I'm not hearing the video here, and maybe it's just on my end. Let me just go to System Preferences, Sound. Yeah, we want to go Rodecaster Pro. Let's try this again.
And then feel guilty the rest of the day.
Okay, cool.
Have you ever wondered, why can't I control my anger so that I don't end up blowing up at family and friends and loved ones, and then feel guilty the rest of the day? Have you ever felt that anger has gotten in the way of you achieving your personal and professional goals? I'm Dr. Dina Silvestri, and I help individuals move from feeling powerless to control anger to emotional equilibrium. And
Okay, not a bad hook in the beginning. I like how, and this is a very great strategy in video. And again, although the video quality isn't perfect, that's okay. I think that the words that you said in the beginning definitely relate, even better than the words on the page so far, to your audience, in terms of, you know, have you ever, right? That's a great way to do it. Or imagine, just like mine did, right? So let's keep scrolling down here. I don't know what that sound was, that like clicking sound, that doop, doop. I don't know if that was in the video or if that was just me, but that's a little bit distracting. And so I would recommend, probably just for that alone, to try and see how you might be able to take this message, number one, and reduce it in half, right? How might you share within a 1.5 minute video the same thing? And then also, you know, the audio quality can be a little bit louder as well. There was a weird click in there, and that's a little bit distracting too. Right? It almost makes me wonder, like, hey, when I get this course, are those clicks going to be in the videos as well, right? We don't want that to be something that comes across a person's mind. Okay, let's keep going here. This anger management course will help you, 1, learn how to feel calm, own your anger and the meaning behind it, and soften your partner's anger in the midst of chaos. 2, how to have successful arguments so that you don't shut down every time. So this is the first time I'm understanding that this is not just like an internal, this is something that relates to the people around me, right? This is more important than just controlling anger. This is relationships. This is our future, right? And I think we could tie that a little bit more into what it is we're talking about, right? Because that's the ultimate benefit here, right? It's not just, like, why do we need emotional equilibrium? So we can have a happier life, so we can have more thriving relationships. Let's keep scrolling down. You have a little bit of your bio there, which I think is great. I help individuals. Like, I think, man, I don't like that word. I'm sorry. I just think, you know, hey, you are an individual, I can help you, versus, hey, you're struggling with anger. You're having arguments at home with your kids or your spouse. Let me help you understand why those arguments are happening and how we can have less of them and perhaps even get rid of them altogether. You see, I think sometimes when it comes to sales pages or selling, we try to put our marketing brain on, and that's important. We need our marketing brain on, and we often try to craft these pages and words in a way that can hopefully connect with people. But we forget that there's human beings on the other end. And if we can just speak human to human, oftentimes it's going to work even more. So Adina, if you had a friend, for example, who could use your services, would you say, hey, I know you're an individual who has some anger management problems? Probably not. You probably wouldn't use the word individual, and you probably wouldn't use the word anger management problems, right? What would you say to them instead? Perhaps you might say, I know you're a loving father who sometimes struggles with your anger, and it's affecting the relationships you have in your home. Boom, right? Like, that's so much more connected, because you are describing me better than I'm describing myself, right? Course curriculum video, cool. Frequently asked questions. I like FAQs. I think FAQs are really important just to kind of capture all those things. Like, okay, how does this work? How long is this? What do I do for a refund? Okay, so $97. Okay, so we need a little bit of proof on how you've helped others. I think that we can, a call to action, a final call to action is always great. If you are ready to take the next steps in your journey toward anger management and reducing stress in your life so that, and again, benefit, you can have better relationships in the home so that you can spend more time being happy than being angry. And ultimately, I know that anger and stress can lead to some health problems. So I don't know if you've talked about that here as well, but I think that that absolutely should be included here too, right? This thumbnail here on this video, yeah, thank you, Adam. I'm not keen on this either. It almost makes me feel like I have to have this set up to learn. And I understand why this thumbnail is here. It's better than the one up here, no offense. But I think that perhaps you could even show a screenshot of what's in the course. Let's even see. Like this is even drawing my attention more. Oh, there's no talking here. This is a perfect opportunity when you walk people through. So I understand what you're doing. You're showing people the course curriculum. You can't expect a person to follow along and read. In fact, a video should have you speaking on it, especially if you're selling them into this course. So I love the idea of a curriculum course video. Here's what I would do instead. I would hit record and go, all right, here you're actually looking at the course. And when you sign in, the first thing I want you to do is watch the welcome video where I'm going to teach you exactly why we are angry and how we can begin to start controlling this. You almost are selling it through your example, right? And painting the picture, almost foreshadowing the fact that they're gonna be in there, right? Because when they start seeing this, they're gonna wanna be a part of it. And that's really, really important. And you can almost guide them securely through this, helping them understand what the journey is gonna be like. This is why these videos are very powerful, and it would behoove you not to add some audio in there. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Nope, not anymore. Oh, yep, nope, yep, wow. Why you gotta do that to me? Anyway, you have to walk people through what's gonna happen, right? So when I sell Power Up Podcasting, for example, I walk people through and I go, when you sign in, before we talk about equipment, before we start talking about your course, or before we start talking about your podcast, click on this welcome video. It's gonna introduce you to exactly how this works and how easy this is actually gonna be for you. Then we go into a pre-launch phase. In the launch phase, I'm going to teach you about your equipment, your show, your episodes, what you're going to record about, and all the questions you have about podcasting and what your show is going to be about are answered here. Then we're going to walk into actually recording, and I'm going to make it as simple as easy and I'm going to make it as simple as possible for you, even if you are technologically struggling to be able to set up a podcast. Here, you'll actually see me helping you plug things in. So even if you're inexperienced, you can be able to do it too. So again, I'm actually using the examples to sell the course itself. So you don't need to sell, you don't need to, oh, okay, yes you do. Sorry. So this is what I was seeing here. Right, this is a huge opportunity. So first I'm going to teach you about the different types of appraisal. There are two different types of appraisal, and these are really important to understand because this is how we begin to understand a different kind of language we could use that can help reduce the stress. In my own professional opinion, it's what we say that leads to this anger that leads to more emotions that shouldn't be there. I'm just making this up. I'm not you. I'm just saying that these become different ways. Like you want people to go, oh, that's exactly what I needed, right? Like another part of Power Up Podcasting that I talk about is like, hey, in section 4, you're going to learn about how to market your podcast because I don't just teach you how to launch a show. I teach you how to get listeners even on day 1. So here we talk about your launch process. Here, 7 days before the launch, you'll watch 1 video per day, helping you get set up with each item that you need to do every single day until you launch. And then here's your post-launch section so that after you have your show, all this can happen too, right? So it's almost like, and the thumbnail was, Sorry, let me refresh this. This is what the thumbnail was. It was this. It was just an open notebook and nothing else. So voiceover can go a very, very long way. Even when you're just showing the insides of something, you still have the opportunity to share the benefits and the why. You want essentially people to go, that's a section I needed. That's exactly what I was looking for. Or, oh, I'm so glad that she covers this because I didn't even realize that was a thing, right? So I think that could be really, really big. Frequently asked questions. And then I would have a final call to action again. Just like, hey, you've made it here to the bottom of the page and you have a decision to make. And you're probably reflecting on the parts of your life that you are not exactly happy with. And I completely understand. And the first step for you is to forgive yourself. And with just a small investment into your future, I can help you understand how to control this anger so that you can have better relationships that will last a lifetime. Click on the button below to enroll in the course, and you can get started right away. Very clear. Like, you got to draw people in. You got to give them, click on the green button below. Click on the green, like I would have that right here. And then finally, I'd love to see some testimonials. Like you've worked with individuals before, and likely you've helped change their lives. Let's pull some of those stories out, pop them on the sales page too. But you put a foundation on there that we can just build on top of. A lot of what's there is right. You're doing it right, and well done. Okay. Let's get a few more. All right, this is Cheryl. Cheryl, what's up? Would you like quick, clean, tasty meals costing less than a latte? The reason why I'm pausing, first of all, big, bold, love it. Start here, fantastic. I'm curious, what happens when I click start here? Ah, a video. Interesting. I'm wondering if wait, is my sound again? System preferences. Yeah, it's my sound again. Maybe there was sound on the other one, maybe not. Either way, I think it's important that we could do the voiceovers, and maybe hopefully that structured those voiceovers indeed better than the other one if there indeed was one.
Food is amazing. Think about it. Traditions, memories, so much happiness. But food can also bring a lot of stress. Thrive Life wants to take away the stress. But
Thrive Life? So is this, okay, with Thrive Life Foods. Okay, I got it. Opened on a new page. Like, let's keep going here.
delivering simple, clean food right to your door. How would that help, you ask? Well, we've done some research. Approximately 1 in 42 trillion people actually like to wash, peel, and chop fruits and veggies.
So that was a form of proof right there. 42 million and everything that was just said is a form of proof, right? Even if you don't have testimonials, having numbers and case studies like that show why certain things work is proof, because now you're delivering the mechanism to do that.
And approximately 1 in 56 bajillion people enjoy throwing out rotten produce. So, we had an idea. Let's help people not stress out about food. Enter Thrive Life. Ingredients that are pre-washed, pre-cut, and freeze-dried to lock in all the...
Okay, cool. alleasymeals.com with Thrive Life Foods. I'm curious, is this your business or is this an affiliate offer for Thrive Life? Oh, this is a giant picture. We can shorten that picture up. See Thrive in action. So this might be some. It almost feels like an MLM, which is not a bad thing. Not all MLM. Like I know I say that and I apologize, but you know, a lot of times people go, "Ooh, MLM bad." Like, it's not bad. This is in fact what I would do if I was doing MLM. I would build a web page like this, and I would sell the product and actually prove that this thing actually works in my own way. And I really love that. I use a lot of Thrive. Okay, would you like quick, clean, tasty meals costing? So I don't know why there's question marks in between. That's why I was sort of pausing there, because it's like, would you like quick, clean? Or no, it's like, would you like quick, clean, tasty meals costing less than a latte? I think the question mark should be commas, right? Would you like quick, clean, tasty meals costing less than a latte? Start here. Now, if there was a way to embed that wouldn't have to take me onto YouTube, which is like, here's what's nice about this. There's only a couple things to do. The person earlier, Carolyn, I think, had asked about the menu at the top. I would still remove the menu entirely. And I do see a menu here. I can go to the home page, or I can go to About Me, right? And here you are, Cheryl. Good to see you here. That's cool. This isn't terrible because it's not distracting and likely. In fact, you could also include order now up here too. If you're going to do this, like, you can include that there too. Although best practice is to not have anything at all except the things you want people to do. But here's the trouble. I click on start here. I go to YouTube. And now on YouTube, when this eventually loads up, for some reason it's not, but where I was, it's like, okay, now I'm on YouTube. Now I'm going to be distracted because YouTube wants to keep me on YouTube, right? Now I can click on these related videos. Now I can, dive into your channel. Now I can go even further into other things, right? So you got to worry when you bring people to a place where the whole sole purpose of people on that platform is to keep people on that platform. You're essentially taking people away from where you want them to be, right? So embedded YouTube videos are fine. Just make sure that, and I think there's a way for you to have it so it doesn't show other new videos inside that video after that one's done. But an embedded video would reduce that probability. All easy meals with Thrive Life Foods. Is it time to eat better? Save time, save money? All easy meals are your answer. Thrive Life Foods has been making simple, clean, non-GMO for all 14 years. Breakfast, okay. This isn't bad. Order here. Now I'm looking for something that's like, okay, how is this different than all the other things that I've heard of, Blue Apron, I've heard of, fresh.com or whatever. How does this differ, right? And I think we need to show a little bit of juxtaposition on that. I like the idea of no waste. I like, there's a lot here, recipe cards. There's a lot to take in. Okay, blog posts, that's cool. And again, I don't even know if you would necessarily need those here, although maybe that helps you with search engine optimization, which I can imagine could be the case. I like that you're showing the different kinds of food. Prices, 20 minutes prep, delicious, quick, and easy. Okay, this isn't bad. And again, I'm not exactly sure if this is specifically like an MLM or if this is your business or not. But either way, I think it's working for you. There's just a lot here. There's just a lot. If you could sum this all down in maybe a section of exactly how this all works, it would reduce the confusion, right? So I understand what I'm going to receive. I'm going to receive meals that I can just prepare. It's going to be very simple. But when I order, what is going to happen? Right? How does this necessarily work? Am I going to get smoothies? Am I going to get these recipes? And again, you're also trying to get an email here, which I don't know if it's the right thing to do. Perhaps that will show up in a exit intent pop up. And yes, we're going a little bit longer today. I'll probably review at least one or two more. Choose your own ingredients and save even more. There's just in terms of the call to action, it's hard to it's hard to understand what I should start to do. I'm getting a little overwhelmed. Should I order snackies? I don't know. Should I order this? Should I order that? Like, what's the one thing you want me to do? It's not quite clear what my options are. What if I wanted the stir fry, right? Like, where do I go now? Order through link above, order here. Order through link above, order here. Order through link above, order here. That's a mistake, I would assume. I don't know what button above, right? Now I'm like, okay, well, which button do I buy? Right? So I'm a little bit confused on what you want me to do. I'm sold on the idea. I'm not quite sure what you want me to do. Peas ready to eat straight from the bag. I mean, I don't understand how this works. And that's a problem, right? So that's where I would work, Cheryl. You have all the components you need. It just needs to, in terms of the layout of the page and all that stuff, I think that the video needs to be embedded on there and a little bit more testimonial or proof with context about how this works. That's missing. And in terms of target audience, like that's what I was gonna address as well, Jamin. Perhaps it is those who are cooking at home. Is it busy moms? Is it eco-friendly people? I think we need to talk about that too, right? Would you like quick, clean, tasty meals costing less than a latte, but then you go down and talk more about the idea of being eco-friendly. Like, what is the big draw here? What's the major play here? Just ordered the powdered butter, Pat Flynn. Cool. Yeah, and Cheryl here is saying this almost feels like a website versus a sales page. I mean, it is a sales page. It's selling this product, but it feels like a website with too many options, and I don't necessarily know what it is you're selling me, right? You have a map down here. Can I drive to you? Like, what is? Again, a little confused on what I'm actually buying, and that's where I would focus. That's where I would focus. Cool. So let's make it clear. Like, I would actually, in fact, there are services out there where you can actually pay to have people go through your webpage and comment on it. I don't remember what the name of it is, but let's see. Get people to comment on your sales page or website. Up Viral, right? No, not Up Viral. Trying to remember what that was. Get commentary on your website. Can't remember what the name of that was, but there was a web page, and in fact, you can just have your friends and family go through it, and you can have them going through it and just be like, "Hey, speak out loud about what you're thinking when you're here." Or if you have an audience already, have them offer you feedback because that's your target audience, and they're going to tell you exactly where the holes are and where the problems are too. So hopefully this helps, and I like that. So that's really cool. All right, let's try one. Let's do one more. Let's see. Why do we make laser sounds when we're like thinking, right? It's kind of weird. Trying to find one that has dropped in their sales page because I see people who are offering other things. Okay, let's try this one. Let me pop this up here to make sure it's family friendly. Okay, this is the e-commerce one. We haven't done an e-commerce yet one from Ned, but it's jewelry, right? Simple jewelry collection, simple, elegant. Okay, well, I didn't have time to read that. The Mystic collection. So this feels very retail, right? It feels very retail. And I see that there's a bot down here. Hi, how can we help you? It almost is feeling like legit an experience that I would have when if I go to a mall and I go to a jewelry store. Number one, you're showing the collections beautifully. I'll say that for sure. Number two, I even have a person or a bot here that's like, hey, welcome in. How can we help you? Not terrible, not that works. But if nobody's using it, then turn it off, right? That's if nobody's answering this question, turn it off. I don't necessarily know where people are coming from, but I don't have experience buying jewelry online. And I would go into, well, what is the big drawback from buying jewelry online? Men and women in the audience right now, what are the big objections that you might have for having jewelry bought online? Or what's the big benefit, right? What's the big benefit? How might I size a ring? That's the first thing. Like if I want to buy this ring, let's say I'm interested in this 14K white gold turquoise. Like, do I just add to cart and buy it? How do I know? Is there an FAQ with like sizing? Jewelry shop. Maybe this supports an in-person store that you might have. Women's rings, engagement rings. And the one thing that I'm looking for when it comes to e-commerce that can work really, really well. In fact, I'd recommend a book out there for you called This Is Not a Shirt. And it's by a guy named Bobby Hundreds, who talks about, for his retail brand, which is just a t-shirt and clothing company, how he created an entire movement behind it. And it's more than just about the shirt. It's about the message. It's about the culture. And it's about the feel. It's about the emotion behind the product. And I think that that's really important to understand when it comes to physical things and retail, that it's the culture, it's the aura, it's the emotion behind it that can help sell it versus the actual product itself, right? So love the images, but I think that there is not that much personality here, right? It almost just is a Shopify store. I don't know if it's Shopify or not, but it's like, that's it. Let me go to the About Us section just to kind of see. Like if this is a mom and pop type shop, then why doesn't mom and pop show up? Aurum Lux is your source of quality fine gold and diamond jewelry at competitive prices. We offer a modern selection of beautifully crafted jewelry and precious metals. Okay, great. I love how you're like, this is what we do. We offer customers the freedom to choose their favorite piece of jewelry and various precious metals and choice of color. Okay. Quality is our highest priority. Okay. Cool. But what's different about this? What's the aura here? What's the target audience? What's the feel that you're trying to offer, right? Are you trying to help people feel more connected to the earth, for example? I mean, I'm just making that up, but I mean, that even of itself, a lot of people can get behind that, right? So, hey, if you're if you're a spiritual person, you know, jewelry for the spiritual person. Right now, if I can identify myself as a spiritual person, I might be like, hey, this is for me, right? My wife, for example, she only likes one jewelry store. And it's because it's very much in tune with who she is and the culture behind it. And that's Nahoku, right? Hawaiian. It's Hawaiian. Her engagement ring is from there. Our wedding rings, my wedding ring is from Nahoku. And it's because we love that culture and we're all about family and, you know, ohana. So this is why we purchase from that jewelry store and why we are in love with it. And my question is, well, what do you think would make people fall in love with your stuff? What's the connection there, right? Sue here says, your product is just a start. It's everything you build around it that sets you apart. I really love that. Thank you. Cool. And again, the part about this too, and when we go to Nahoku, like here, I'm just seeing the jewelry, and that's great. But I think we could take this one step further. What about one of these necklaces on a neck? What about one of these rings on a finger with somebody else holding that hand as if they had just gotten engaged, right? Like, how can we provoke these feelings that we want to do with this product? And I think that this is why, I mean, again, I'm not comparing, and I'm just new to, I'm just new to e-commerce, right? But it's like that versus this. Here are pictures of people using the Switch Pod and how it's used in context. There's me and my boy, right? Even so light that a kid can hold it with a camera. And just out on the go on the beach. Easy to hold, right? Like I'm featuring the product now in context, right? Versus just the product itself. So hopefully that helps. All right, let's do one more. You guys having fun? Is this valuable to you? Let me know. It's interesting that on the day where we talk about sales pages, that there are less people in here, because this is in fact one of the most important things, if not the most important thing. The moment at which you're doing all this work, you're trying to make a transaction with somebody, how might we do that? And I don't know, perhaps it is just because it's a Sunday and you know people are feeling certain things right now and probably not in a very much of a work mood, and that's totally okay. I completely understand that, but hopefully this helps. Okay, let's go to one more. I'm having a lot of fun with this. Let's see. All right, let's go to Elijah. This is the one we'll end with. Woo, long form sales page, love it. Let's talk about these components here. Attention young adults between 18 and 35, boom. Well, I'm 37 now, so you've knocked me out of that, but that's okay. You know who your target audience is. I love this. Although this isn't the most beautifully designed page, I can tell that you're somebody who really cares about connecting with the audience and who this is for and who it's not for, and you're doing a lot of things right. So pay attention, everybody, but hopefully we can enhance this a little bit more. I will say that these paragraphs are scary to me, these larger paragraphs. I like writing on the internet that I can read that's essentially no more than 3 or 4 lines per paragraph, right? So this first one I can do. The second one, I'm like, oh, there's so much reading here, right? And a especially for a long form sales page, yes, it will make the length of the page longer, but it's going to be easier for me to go down the page if you separate out these sentences and such. And yes, SpaceX today, they are docking with the International Space Station, had a very successful launch yesterday. Everything is nominal. Super stoked on that. Very excited. That's going to happen in about an hour, in fact. So we'll definitely get off very soon. But are you tired of trying things financially and it not working? Someone tells you a way to make money, you try it and it doesn't work for you. You heard about a way that you must use to budget, then you try it out and it doesn't get you the same results. You know that you should be spending money on certain things, but some of them make you feel uneasy. Do any of these things sound familiar? Great. Okay, love the headline. Are you tired of trying things financially and it's not working? Actually, trying things financially. I've never heard anybody say that before. What have you tried financially lately? Right? I've heard of financially speaking. What have you tried to do to save more money or be smarter with your money? But trying things financially is a weird phrase to me. Do people between 18 and 35 say they try things financially? Maybe not. Maybe we can enhance that a little bit more. But I like this painting a picture of, hey, has anybody ever told you to do this? Well, that probably didn't work out. Has anybody ever told you to do this? Well, that probably didn't work out either, right? So that's I like this paragraph here. These sure were the case with me. Okay, so a little bit of, we need to put an editor through this. Thank you, @Reef, for the super chat. I appreciate you. You don't build a business, you build people, then people build the business. What I learned from you is what we must think of as people rather than us. Yes, serve first, default generosity. So we need to bring an editor in here because a little bit of the grammar that's not right will definitely deter people, right? Like, and I'm not trying to clown you on that. All I'm saying is there are people out there who will, and they will immediately see that this is just not grammatically correct, even those few little things, and they're out, right? So just keep up with that. These sure were the case with me. So I would just say, like, that's how I was when I got involved with money. I was told that you need to make money this way to be successful. These ways look different forms throughout the years, such as being an area manager on Amazon, networking, marketing, starting health. Yeah, see, so a little bit, I'm just distracted by that. So we need to have an editor go through this. In fact, I would read it aloud yourself. And that alone will help you teach you where you can sort of fix things. Okay, let's go down here. Anatomy of Financial Success. So this is the book. You're selling this book. Love it. You have Amazon reviews, great. Talking about the different sections. So these different sections, these phases, could be highlighted a little bit more. I can imagine something in the center that might say, Phase 1, what is money? And then down below, without realizing it, we often pick up fallacies about money, like money is the root of all evil, or doing certain things for money is wrong. Phase 2, increasing your income, or Phase 3, managing your budget, right? Versus just income, budgeting. And then again, different sections with different headlines underneath each. Even just images, because this is like very, very long, and we could break that up. That's one of the most important parts of this page, is what it is that and how you draw people through. Now, I am questioning a little bit. Phase 2, $100 value. Phase 3, $150 value. Is it? Are you selling that section of the book in Phase 2 elsewhere for $100? In this space, especially financially, that's going to look like a big red flag to people, I will tell you, right? Unless you say Phase 3 budgeting, in this section, you'll learn how to save upwards of $350 even within a week. Now, there's actually inherent value within that section because I can imagine it and you're putting context to it. But $150 value seems fake to me. Where did that dollar amount come from? It almost seems like, okay, well, and then you probably add these all up, right? $525 total value for the price of $17.99 versus, and this is what you can do in the financial space. From the savings in Phase 3 alone, you can save hundreds of dollars, all for the low price of $17.99 today, right? The line spacing, a lot of good comments, so make sure that you are paying attention to the comments here because a lot of great feedback coming from the audience as well. Do these sound appealing? If so, don't hesitate. Click the buy now and pick up your copy today. So paperback version, this goes to Amazon, I would assume. Okay, cool. And look at that, 22 ratings. I would update that. I would update this screenshot up here because you only showed 8 ratings, right? Number 1 bestseller. That you could see it there too. Do you include the bestseller thing in here at all? In this best-selling book, you'll find right, and a little seal that says bestseller. Great. You have reviews there, which is great with faces. I love that. When you're taking these screenshots, let's remove your toolbar because I can see you have all these things open, YouTube and whatnot. Let's blow them up and make them bigger. And in fact, you could probably choose 2 or 3 that are great versus showing like all these here. So let's make them bigger. I cannot read them. I have to do this to do that, and they're blurry because of it, right? So let's blow those up, make them bigger. I like that they have the stars there. Don't show the 4-star one, just the 5-star one. And down here, big thing. I see that you are going through an affiliate link for your own book. And guess what? That's okay. Amazon actually encourages that. So that's totally fine. You're actually double dipping there, which is okay. You are getting money from your book sales and you're getting money from the affiliate sales on your own book. However, because you're using an affiliate link, you have to be very, very careful. You do not mention that people are going to Amazon here. Trust me, I've made this mistake. My account has gotten banned. I've gotten booted out of Amazon's affiliate program because I was promoting books without any mention that a button was going to Amazon. I simply changed it. I got it relooked at. I got it back. But you are not allowed to have an Amazon affiliate link shown on a page and not let people know people are getting to Amazon if you are making it look like you're selling it on your own, right? So by using this button, you're eventually saying like you are selling this yourself, but then people go to Amazon. So you got to be careful about that. $100% money back guarantee. 12 hours, 31 minutes, 11 seconds till what? Is that just, is that real? Like, are you taking this down? This is the hard thing, right? What's happening after 12 hours? If I refresh this page, which a lot of people are going to do, okay, good. It keeps the same time. I was worried it was going to reset. So that's better. However, what happens after this time? What is going on here? Click the buy now. And again, you have the right call to action here. Decide which version you want and click buy now. Have another set of links like you do up here, down here, because that's the point at which you're offering that call to action. You could also have a link to buy right here too. Right here above what others are saying. The same thing. And again, make sure you're telling people that this is, or you're telling Amazon essentially that you're going to Amazon. We don't want your account to be taken away by the ebook version. It's interesting that the ebook version looks more valuable than the paperback version, right? Because you're showing paperback versions here, which is just really interesting to me, right? It's a little confusing. So I would have just the iPad version or the Kindle version because these are physical books here. This to me looks like a bundle that should be worth more because it's that and that, right? It almost makes me just want to go get this because this is cheaper, although you can make more money on the paperback version, perhaps. And try to center it as well. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. You don't have to you can mention, quote, Albert Einstein. Okay. Buy the Anatomy of Financial Success. So that takes me there. I mean, if you're telling me to buy here, just have me buy here. You don't have to drive me to another portion of the page. So great start in terms of how you connected with the audience. Failed a little bit to showcase the book and to help me drive a click through it. You got testimonials, which is great. Reviews. The reviews area needs work. And the different phases and how you bring, like, what's your special system? That's really important. Like, here's my special system for helping you do this. And that section was pretty weak. We can focus on making that look a little bit more appealing and having it be more easily digestible. So, great commentary, great feedback, everybody. Thank you so much. We went a little over today. We went an hour and a half, but we drove through a lot of these sales pages. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I like like I said, I was going to buy somebody's today. I like this one. I think it has a lot of really, really good moments up front to talk about the, like who this is for. Like really strong, probably the strongest of anybody so far today in terms of just who this is for and what we're talking about. Failed a little bit in the middle there, but all of these pages that we've read today do need some work. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on buy for $17.99 and add this to cart and proceed to checkout. And I'm going to buy that a little bit later for you. So I'll purchase that right after this. But hey, congratulations. And there we go. So hopefully that was helpful. If you are watching the replay, let me know you made it all the way through. You're a rock star. Thank you so much. And come back tomorrow where we're going to start talking about some other platforms, specifically in social media and best practices for each. We're probably going to start with, what did I say? We're going to start with Instagram tomorrow. And we're going to go probably into Facebook and other places too. So coming tomorrow. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here today. patflynn.com/theincomestream. And keep up the good work, everybody. Well done on the pages today. And again, if you want your stuff reviewed in the future, you can go to this link here, patflynn.com/review. You can pop in your website URL. We're going to have a whole library of those that I'm going to choose from. And I'm really excited for you being in there. So well done, everybody. Thank you so much today. And, all the best. Stay safe. And let's keep having conversations out there, right? And learning whatever we can do to help the situation and hopefully get things under control. I appreciate you. Take care. And as always, Team Flynn for the win. Peace out.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
All right, good job, everybody. Hopefully you've learned something that you can implement into your own stuff. Even those small little incremental changes make a big deal, especially over time as your business continues to grow, as you get to more traffic to your website, whether it's paid or free. Let's just keep rocking it, keep implementing, keep experimenting, keep adjusting, because that's what entrepreneurship is all about, adjustments and improvement along the way. So take care. Thank you so much. And as always, Team Flynn for the win.